Again, workers with Canada Post could walk off the job as early as tomorrow, throwing millions of packages in the lurch as they look to pressure their employer for a new deal. And it comes as a report calls for a major overhaul of how Canada Post operates to ensure it can survive into the future. To talk more about that report and the potential job action, let's bring in John Henry Harder, a lecturer on labor studies at Simon Fraser University. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Carrie. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so without any movement, a second Canada Post strike could happen as soon as tomorrow. The last one went on for more than a month. Do you see a similar situation playing out here?
Well, yeah, in a lot of ways, though, this is a continuation of that situation because the strike was cut short by ordering the workers back to work. And they put a pause and said, you need a timeout, essentially, which is really rare in labor history. So that was a strange move and really denying the workers the constitutionally protected right to collectively bargain. So this has already been really strange. And for the public, I could see why they would think, oh, this is the second time in 6 months or something. But really, it was a forced pause by the government and interfering in free collective bargaining.
Okay, yeah, this comes less than a week, though, after this Industrial Inquiry Commission's report examining Canada Post's financial state and outlining changes that need to be made to ensure its survival. How does the timing of this report play into where we're at right now with negotiations?
Oh, that's a really good question. So Canada Post walked away from the bargaining table last week and said we need to look at the Industrial Inquiry Commission's report. And then they tabled what they're calling a final offer. The union said, could we have a couple weeks, 2 weeks specifically, to look at your final offer? And Canada Post said no. So I think what's really happening is Canada Post, the corporation, Crown Corporation, is really putting the pressure on workers and trying to muscle their way into service cuts for all Canadians in a way that doesn't benefit really anybody, and then trying to blame the workers.
Yeah, there are a lot of recommendations in this report to improve viability from this IIC report. The one that's getting a lot of attention is phasing out door-to-door letter mail delivery.
Yes.
What could something like this look like, and what impact would it have on Canadians?
Unfortunately, it will have a huge negative impact on Canadians. And when the Conservative government under Stephen Harper tried to force an end to door-to-door delivery 15 years ago, there was a huge public outcry. The Canada Post and the government at the time were saying there would be huge savings for eliminating door-to-door delivery, which turned out that their costing was really flawed. And also, the idea that this doesn't have an impact on seniors, on people with mobility issues, on rural residents is really problematic. Not to mention the costing. They're saying it's going to save money, but how about the environmental cost, where we're all driving to our mailboxes and letting our cars idle while we pick up our mail, or the social cost for forcing seniors out? And we know Vancouver has pretty decent weather if you don't mind the rain.
Right.
But in a lot of places where they have 4 or 5 months of serious winter, forcing people out of their homes with mobility issues, like I said, seniors, to go and collect their mail is not a good model.
We are pretty much out of time, but I have a quick question for you, so it does require a quick answer. During the previous strike, or the initial part of this labor dispute, Ottawa ended up ordering workers back to work. Do you see the new Liberal government doing that again if they walk off the job tomorrow?
I certainly hope not.
Oh, that is a quick answer. John Henry Harder from SMU.
Really, we need free collective bargaining to let this play out.
All right. Appreciate your perspective.